tinfoil hat. Oh, what the fuck are you guys even talking about?
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them.
Welcome to Tinfoil Hat. We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Are you ready to get your mind blown?
All right, guys, welcome to another Tinfoil Hat. Yes, live from the Wise Wolf Gold and Silver Studios. Just go to samtripoli.gold, use the promo code Tinfoil, and you too can get in the Precious Metals game for as little as $50 a month. Precious Metals sent right to your house. Very excited to have our guest on. There couldn't be a better time to have him on. He's been on multiple times, talking about some of the best topics we ever had, and we're honored to have him. Please welcome author, podcaster, researcher, William Ramsey. How are you, brother?
Great. Thanks for having me. Good to be with you.
Good to see you. So I know you've been on multiple times. Some of the new listeners may not be familiar with you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where our listeners can find you?
Yeah, I was originally a writer. Actually, I was a lawyer, and then I wrote my first book in 2010, Prophet of Evil, about Crowley. And I was really a guest for a long time. Then I kind of flipped and became a host and became really over COVID. And my podcast is William Ramsey Investigates. And so I've been just kind of still researching, writing, and doing a lot of hosting. I think I've got 1,500 episodes now.
Wow.
My podcast. Yeah. So I've been busy. And I've really been following all these assassins. Like, it's this really weird season. Our last show was in March, I think, where we covered Hinckley and Chapman and the connection to Catcher in the Rye. And since then, I've just been tinkering through. And I went back to this amazing movie that was made in 1962 titled The Manchurian Candidate.
Okay, we're going to get into that. You're totally right. We've talked about this on the show about assassin seasons back. You look at the 60s and the 70s. Maybe the early 80s too. People were getting assassinated left and right, and for some reason it calmed down. And then lately it just seems to be out of control. And, let me just say that rappers have been getting assassinated all the time. I don't know why people don't count those. They've been getting assassinated all the time. But lately, Charlie Kirk, and then, the Trump attempt, and we can get into whatever we think about that. But it's just interesting times, dude. It's interesting times. So where do you want to begin, my friend?
Let's go over the list of the assassins. Also, if you remember, it's Nick Fuentes, too, almost got assassinated at his house. Some guy with a crossbow.
Oh, yeah.
His name was John R. Lyons. He killed, I think, for his friend's mom, and somebody else, and then he was killed at the very end, if you remember. He was kind of swept away, but he's forgotten. But there's been so many of the ones that I was covering recently were Robin Westman, that was the trans guy who shot up the church, to Carlos Brown, who stabbed the girl the day before Kirk, right?
Yes. He
said he had materials in his body, so either he's schizophrenic or maybe who knows. But it does kind of tie back to the Manchurian Candidate. I had Shane Tamura, if you remember him. He was the guy who went to the 33rd floor of a Blackstone building.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was this year. Then there was Jabbar and Livelsberger. That was January. There's so many. It's hard to believe when you see them all together. Luigi Mangione, who was just in trial, very good. Then Tyler Robinson, this guy supposedly who shot him. And the same day, shot Kirk, excuse me. The same day, there was another guy named Desmond Hawley who kind of got overshadowed because the Kirk assassination was so big.
That was that school shooting, right?
Yes. That was the one. He shot two people. I don't know if he killed them. Shot two people in Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
He was 16 years old. And so that was kind of minimized. There was a Peyton Gendron guy who drove all the way to Buffalo, New York, and shot a bunch of African-American people, if you remember him. Nikita Kasap was one of the Trump shooters. He was going to try to assassinate Trump. He killed his parents and was caught driving across country. And then we have Ruth and Crooks. Crooks supposedly is dead. Ruth was in court and tried to kill himself. It actually kind of ties into the
Yes, that was crazy. He tried to stab himself, right?
Yeah, yes.
There was one today. I think they shot up an ICE department, and the guy ended up killing an ICE guy, and then the guy killed himself at the end type of thing.
The same thing, and he's marking his bullets, supposedly like Tyler Robinson.
Yeah,
did.
I think it said anti-ice on the bullets.
Yes.
I didn't even know you could write on bullets.
I didn't either, but I guess that's the new thing. Apparently, the guy Tyler wrote on bullets that he wasn't going to use. So what's he writing on bullets if it's only one
That's
shot,
so
right?
true, dude. That's so crazy.
Yeah. So it's this film for me is in the context of all of these assassins because it's about an assassination. It's about a political assassination, but it also involves themes of mind control. And it's almost like American cultural history had a before Manchurian Candidate, which came out in 1962, a before and an after, because it almost set off all of these assassinations. So you have this depiction in a film, then a year later you have JFK, then you have Malcolm X in 65, I believe, and then RFK and MLK in 68. And all those assassins are really unusual, like the modern assassins we have today, where like Ruth is like traveling around, and Mangione, actually. Both Ruth
That's
and
such a weird one, too.
yeah. They're both on Oahu and like traveling to weird places. Like
Oh, that was
Oahu's
Mark.
their hometown.
That was Mark David Chapman, right? He would
Exactly,
just travel.
exactly.
Nobody knew how he traveled.
Exactly. So you'll see a lot of this weird kind of stuff. The film has a lot of themes that are important. And one of the more important themes, mind control and manipulation, but also handlers. So these people are handled. So the main character is played by Lawrence Harvey, and his character name is Raymond Shaw. And he's kind of manipulated in an intel way. And he's moved all the way from Manchuria. That's where it got its name. So if you remember, the Korean War was from 1950 to 1953. And so that Manchuria was above the Korean Peninsula. So in the film, they're actually, it's a lot of Illuminati numbers and occult numbers are in the book. I have a video, we can show that. But like the 11 members of this troop are taken there. And then really one of the most infamous sequences, I think, in cinema, U.S. cinema history, is this sequence where they're being programmed and manipulated by this sinister communist doctor named Dr. Yen Lo, really played well by the actor. His name is Ding. It's hard to pronounce his name. Ding Ling or something like that.
Ding Ling.
Yeah, he was in Hawaii Five-0 too. If you're old enough to remember like the original Hawaii
I used to
Five-0.
love that Hawaii Five-0.
So he's great in this film. Like the acting is so good. I watched the new one with Denzel Washington, and it's really kind of a sad shadow of the original 1960s.
It's never
almost always the case.
Yeah. For people who don't, so one of the interesting things about Manchurian Candidate, other than this mind control and handling and moving around in political assassination, is the background of the film itself. The Sinatra really was the lead kind of push to get this film done. He's very close friends with JFK. And a lot of the decision to greenlight the film, The Manchurian Candidate, which was written by Richard Condon in 1959, was done at Hyannisport. If you know, like the Kennedy compound, they were at Hyannisport together and like, yeah, you should get this done. And Kennedy calls somebody in Hollywood and some producer, and the money appears and they make the movie.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it really is crazy because they took it. And for people who don't know the background of the film, it was taken off the market for 25 years. So it wasn't seen from 1963 to 1988, I guess, or something like that. Like it was when it came back, and it didn't have a lot of success when it came out in late 62. I think it kind of had a mid success, but it was almost like not even covered. It's really like the story of the making of the film itself is incredible, but it ties into all these assassinations. So I use it kind of as a template or an exemplar of like what happened in the future, because Raymond Shaw's a lot like Lee Harvey Oswald, actually, which is really crazy. So a year later, if you remember in the movie, the main character, Raymond Shaw, goes behind the lines in communism and then comes back out and shoots. And then Oswald spends like 18 months behind so-called enemy lines in communism. And within a year, he's moved into position in Dallas, Texas for the shooting. So, and Oswald's really special. Like we can get there, but like you keep him in mind because some of the people who handled him, much like Raymond Shaw in the movies being handled, passed away recently. One of the famous one is a woman by the name of Ruth Payne, who has a very interesting thing. But this movie's coming out in the kind of like right as MK Ultra starts in 53. A lot of that behavior
so crazy.
Yeah. And so this guy, Condon, really knew a lot of stuff. One of the interesting things about Condon, he's kind of lost to history. If you know the films Prizzi's Honor, he also wrote those. those were books that the screenplays were based on. That was Jack Nicholson. He also ended up writing the intro to Operation Mind Control. There's two really important books about mind control that came out in, I think, the 70s or 80s. One is Operation Mind Control by Bauer, and another is The Search for the Manchurian Candidate by Marx. So Condon was really keyed in, and that's kind of what, so like, he knew all these hypnotic ideas and the mind control thing in a much more sophisticated way than the general public would know. And it's integrated into this film, Manchurian Candidate.
Do you think there's intelligence involved in him making this movie?
It's a really good question. I think that JFK was using these films to kind of seed ideas in the general public. And the reason I believe that is this wasn't the only film that he was interested in getting made. After this film, another film called 7 Days in May was made and released actually in the same month as Dr. Strangelove. It actually was released in January 1st of 1964. And for 7 Days in May, Kennedy was so involved in that making of that film, which is about a coup, a military coup over the United States in 7 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He was so involved in making that film that he went to Hyannisport for a weekend so they could shoot at the White House. So some of the scenes are literally at the White House. So I think Kennedy, this is after he's firing these generals and he's having trouble, and the Bay of Pigs, and firing Dulles, I think, after the Bay of Pigs, and then Operation Northwoods, if you remember that, or what's the one where they were going to bomb Cuba?
Operation Northwoods.
It was Northwoods, okay. So like all this stuff, he's absorbing it in the real world, and then it kind of comes out. So I think the mind behind the film, there is something there. I don't know, Condon was really sophisticated and super smart and a great writer. So I know that, but also one of the interesting things is a consultant for this film is Intel. Like, he is Intel. And that article, that 30-page article I sent you, at the first there's like a blurb, and it's about this guy named William Joseph Bryan Jr. Have you heard of him?
No. Can you look that up, XG or Johnny? The email they sent us, find it.
He's a consultant, but he's also friends with all of these very well-known people. He's friends with Sinatra, William Joseph Bryan. He's friends with Melvin Belli. If you remember, he would represent Jack Ruby in about a year or two after this film was done.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Melvin Belli, who's also involved in all kinds of stuff in San Francisco. And then F. Lee Bailey, William Joseph Bryant is friends with F. Lee Bailey. William Joseph Bryant had his office. It's literally a hypnotist office on Sunset. Probably current, well, it's not there today, but if you went to his office, I think the building is still there. Yeah, so there's Walter Bauer, Joseph Bryan. It's literally about 3 blocks from the Comedy Store right there on Sunset.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so he's right there. And if you look into the shooting of RFK and Sirhan, William Joseph Bryan is all over that. And almost every major writer who's written about RFK has brought up William Joseph Bryan, who is the consultant on Manchurian Candidate and a CIA agent and sophisticated and a really heavy-duty mind controller. Like, he ended up getting busted, and you can actually look up his court case. It's not funny. His court case in California, because he was hypnotizing the women and engaging in inappropriate activity with them. Yeah. And he actually got busted trying to bribe one for $25,000. He's very
Back then, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was
25
like
grand.
It's
like $1 billion right now.
He ended up dying at an early age, age of 50. He was a heavy drug user, like a syringe drug user. He died in Vegas. Like, he literally left Las Vegas as a corrupt kind of criminal guy who had a very interesting ascent. But he was with prostitutes, and he told the prostitutes that his project was Sirhan. So he like admitted it. He never made it to court. Yeah. Because Sirhan's around that area at that time in 67, 68. He's in and out of hospitals. That's another theme that's encapsulated within the film Manchurian Candidate, is a lot of these guys end up in strange hospital stays that are inexplicable. And so the Manchurian Candidate integrates these hospital stays. It's actually interesting because that's how MK Ultra was done. Like, Bauer got it, because what happens to Raymond Shaw after he's brought out of the Manchukuo or Manchuria is he's brought back to New York City, but then he's handled at an already existing medical facility with a different attic. And so he's brought in. So externally, people would just think it's a hospital, but it's actually kind of a mind control hub where these guys are literally handling and making sure the kind of mechanics of Raymond Shaw are still intact. And that, if you read a lot of the MK Ultra stuff, they really took already existing institutions and built them out and added wings or elevated them to do the mind control experimentation that took place in the
That's
50s.
Haight-Ashbury, right? I mean, that's pretty much what they did with Haight-Ashbury.
No question. Ashbury, McGill, Georgetown, Colgate. There was a place in like downtown in New York City. Those are then also Emory, Stanford, like really big name places were doing this kind of research. And it was almost...
I was just gonna say, this kind of reminded me of Kanye West, his handler. I don't know if you remember his handler, where they got him and he was saying that they were gonna take him for medication. It seems like it's just protocol, but no, you're getting MK Ultra.
Pasternak, Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, dude, that is really crazy.
The same threats too, and he seemed to got that treatment. Like he almost like had a personality change after what happened to him, and that's what you see with a lot of these assassins, the modern assassins, is this behavioral modification or personality change.
And he has two bodies on him, right? That trainer, doesn't he have Brittany Murphy too? Like he was Brittany Murphy's trainer, and then her husband. I mean, dude, it's dangerous out there, dude.
Very devious. I mean, I think that Kanye was justifiably afraid of that guy Pasternak, and I tried to get his background. He has an interesting background, but I tried to. There's other Pasternaks in the MK Ultra thing. I couldn't tie that Pasternak to another one, but
wasn't he Canadian Psychological Operations?
The one not this guy Harley, but there was a guy like that. Yeah. People were trying to figure out what his background was, but he was Harley Pasternak. The other thing is there was one of his clients, quote clients unquote, underwent trans surgery. The girl to a boy. I forgot what her name is now.
Yeah, because it's crazy because he's supposed to be a fitness guy. It's crazy your fitness guy is working with your mental health, which is so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's bad. There's a lot of that in the whole MK Ultra kind of history. Is like very well renowned doctors, externally upstanding, but doing really devious stuff underneath the surface, like Esther Brooks and Jolly West and some of these things.
Oh yeah, Jolly West is everywhere. But even if you get into more modern times, like Anna Nicole Smith, Britney Spears, like completely I mean, what about Elvis? Elvis is the greatest example of that. I mean, they just drugged him all the way to death.
It's pretty wild. No, you're absolutely right. I think that like, at least for me, like I have to go back and look at all this stuff in a different light because some of these people making complaints that their doctor's messing them, they may be telling the truth.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really true. Like, oh, you are being drugged. Like, I think Kanye was drugged and manipulated. Like, in a sinister way, not in a healthy way, and being threatened. He's just one example. That's what came to the surface. He was courageous enough to like tell his story or share his story. So that's just one example. So like a lot of these guys have been in medical stuff, and it's reflected in the Manchurian Candidate. I highly recommend to you guys in your audience to watch the 1962 version. Look at my paper that I sent to you. I'm going to publish it on Substack today, so it's basically in the
I'll
public
check it out.
Yeah, it's in the public. It'll be in the public domain, or people can read it. But check it out and take notes and see like, oh, this sounds like something familiar, like somebody's moved into position or somebody's being handled, or there's trigger words. Like if you remember the Muhammad who was the sniper in DC, do you remember that story?
Yeah, him and the kid, right?
Yeah, the kid. And then they're like, at the very end, the chief of police says these weird words. He's like, the fox is in the hen house, or I can't remember what he said at the end. It's almost like they're trigger words. And this guy, if you read like Programmed to Kill by Dave McGowan, it just shows a lot of these military guys have been messed with. And Muhammad was military. And there's a really obvious like guys who were in behavior modification or training. Heidnik, and we know of him, possibly Dahmer, definitely Whitey Bulger was an MK Ultra victim. Yeah. Like really crazy stuff.
If you go to there, I mean, if you notice the text messages from this Robinson kid, vehicle, retrieve, those are like military words. You don't use normal words like that. So it's either someone wrote that for him or he somehow MK Ultra or something, because words retrieve vehicle, you don't use that as normal
I mean, he shows
conversation.
no emotion. If we're to believe what they're telling us, he shows no emotions.
Did you see the video of him when he was arraigned and he was being brought up on capital murder? He didn't even move. He didn't even say anything. He didn't say, I'm innocent, I'm guilty. He just stood there and stared at him like he was hypnotized or zapped or something.
I totally agree on that, dude.
It would have been his chance. Like, hey, this is baloney, or I wasn't there. The guy is like super smart. He had like a 34 on his ACT. Like, he's in the 99th percentile. And then somehow he gets this impulse to go shoot Charlie Kirk. Kirk was shot from the side. I don't think.
I totally agree on that, dude. Yeah. And it's just like everyone's like, yeah, dude, all these out of state plate vehicles came to his house. How do you know they're meeting with him? Maybe they're meeting with his dad. His dad's the one who sold him out or was smart enough to get him arrested so they couldn't take him out. But none of this makes any sense, dude.
It doesn't make any sense. The Tyler Robinson story is obviously like fake. Like, there's real problems with that.
Guys, I just want to tell you that the markets are getting crazy. They're printing more money. And listen, if you want to stabilize your cash, you have to get into precious metals. And there's no better place to do that than our good friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. That's right. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver. Let me tell you about them.
If you're paying attention, you know that de-dollarization is real. Fiat is fake, and you don't want to be left holding the bag when the dollar collapses. Gold and silver has been money through all of recorded history and are an excellent way to protect yourself from inflation and geopolitical turmoil. That's why I trust my friends at Wise Wolf Gold and Silver for all things precious metal. Veteran-owned and an A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. No transaction is too big or too small, and you can even roll over your 401k or IRA into physical gold and silver. And if you think you can't afford precious metals, think again. With the Wolf Pack monthly membership program, you can get gold and silver delivered directly to your door for as little as $50 a month. Wise Wolf Gold and Silver also deals in and accepts Bitcoin. So go to samtripoli.gold, promo code tinfoil at checkout to receive free constitutional silver. And remember, in the world of bulls and bears, be the wolf.
Guys, real quick, man, I want to tell you about the most American company in America. Okay, of all the Americas. Every America, this is the most American company, and that is Blue Chew. Okay, that's right, Blue Chew, American made for American boners, whoever wants that hot meat. Let me tell you about our good friends at Blue Chew.
That's right, guys. This isn't about just performance. This is about legacy, and third, legacy, if you know what I'm talking about. Give her group chat something to talk about. You know, when you lay it down, like drop the hammer of the gods on her, they'll talk about it and how it gets up, okay? Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little bit of Blue Chew. Discover your options at bluechew.com, okay? They're an American company for American men, having American boners for American ladies, unless you're into dudes, and that's dudes too, okay? It's really that simple. It's really that simple, man, okay? And we got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free using the promo code tinfoil at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to bluechew.com for details and safety info. And we give a big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring this show and making more of the swarm. Never pull out. Never again. Blue Chew. It's for humanity.
Jeez.
Here's this video. I don't know if you guys, let me see if I can share this. This is him being arraigned. Listen to him say nothing.
Other business that we need to address today, counsel.
Just for the court's information, we did file just recently, within the last few minutes, a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file.
We're going to set up the death penalty. He just stares off into space. Like, I would at least go, oh, crap, I could lose my life or do something. He reminds me of the Holmes, who was the Aurora killer, who, like, for me, he definitely got tampered with.
Oh yeah, I mean we've done episodes on the LIBOR scandal and just like
Yes,
all the
yes.
connections between those two shooters and that scandal, and it's just crazy how they'll do it. And again, I mean the show we recorded earlier is going out on next week, but we talked about that movie Weapons and just like the words and little things can trigger these assassins.
It's really true. It's you. They have to find the right subject, but certain people are on. We're all on a scale of suggestibility. Some people you could not, but some people like Sirhan, he can bounce between different elements of his consciousness like a snap on the head. And people have said that when he did this fake shooting, the shot that killed RFK came from behind him. But when he was doing it, there was the famous girl in the polka dot dress, and she just touched his elbow, and that was his trigger.
What?
Yeah. And so he just went into firing stance. And that was how simple he was, because there's so many doctors who have looked at these guys, Chapman and Sirhan in particular, and they're like, these guys have been tampered with. It's
No,
great.
you're so correct. It's like those people that can get hypnotized on site. There's some that can, there's some that can't. It's just that simple. And if you find the one that's like that subjectable where you just touch the elbow and all of a sudden they're in like that stance, you just got to find the right person. You're right. We're all subjectable, but it's just got to find that right motherfucker.
Right, XG. It's called like the Stanford suggestibility table. You can look it up. It just has like all these indicators. So literally, if I wanted to like zap you, I'd start asking you questions, XG, and I go down the Stanford suggestibility list and see if I could get you on that. I go, okay, this is my guy. And the same thing happens if you remember kind of like parlor trick hypnosis that they used to do. They'd invite like a whole audience up. I'd like to have 20 people come up on the stand and talk to him. And then he'd start doing his induction routine. And then he'd be like, okay, respond to this. And then 3 people wouldn't respond. He said, you could go sit down. So he's actually winnowing that kind of pool to like, okay, I've found that. That's what they do or used to do. They used to have those actually all the time. Actually, believe it or not, at the Carousel Club that Jack Ruby ran, they would do hypnotism, things like that at night, it's a tie-in to Oswald. But yeah, this is kind of real stuff. So some of these people are very susceptible and some aren't. And the trigger in the Manchurian Candidate is this Queen of Diamonds. So that's the trigger for the assassin, or trigger to access his lower kind of subconscious or subconscious that has been done within a lot of the stuff. It's really interesting in the movie because how astute Condon one was writing. By the way, they literally took whole passages from the book and put it in the movie. So whoever screen wrote didn't have to do a lot of writing because he literally, like their whole passages, he just cut and pasted into the film. But it shows Condon was astute because he was going into this academic studies of suggestibility and hypnosis. It's part of psychiatry. It's part of psychology. It's a subset, but these guys, really smart people. Like Jolly West was freaking brilliant, man.
Yeah.
The guy was a giant, like intellectual giant. I'm not saying he was a good person, but some of these other guys from Stanford and everything, they're all really researching hypnosis, and some are looking at it from a good perspective. Like, can we get into the deeper levels of subconscious and heal trauma, smoking?
It's super interesting because you get into like, and I hope this doesn't take this too far off, but if you get in the Kavanaugh hearing for the Supreme Court, the woman who accuses him is her father ran black ops for the CIA. He had to get funding for black ops, and she was part of the CIA intern program there. And
from Stanford too, right?
From Stanford.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right? And it's like she's just running interference, so nobody actually looks at what he actually stood on. Like, he was part of the page. He wrote to help write the Patriot Act. He believes the president's above law. He doesn't believe in warrants to search your house. All this crazy ass shit. He's part of Whitewater. He worked with the Clintons on Whitewater. So instead of talking about that, they get you talking about, did he get weird in high school? But it goes back to Stanford and all that stuff with the CIA.
The vastness of like the inquiries that were taking place in the 50s or 60s would really surprise people, I think, because it was really happening in like a Atascadero State Hospital and all this stuff. And like Jolly West would go into some of these state hospitals or other things. And even it was happening actually in Louisiana. There was this guy Heath who was like doing literal implants. I don't know if you've heard of Delgado. What? Yeah. He was like, that was part of his specialty, is to put little like things in your brain. And there's state hospitals and universities all over the place.
It's so dark how these hospitals, before anyone started paying attention.
Jose Delgado, you can bring up the video of Jose Delgado messing around with an aggressive bull. He tells it to stop. It's kind of an infamous thing because it's recorded. But Delgado was asked, were these ever done on humans? And he said, experiments were done. He like literally said experiments. So some of this stuff is not coming out because it's classified. It's all under classification stuff. So some of these things like FOI documents, recent ones, are really interesting. And they've kind of slowly, people have seen this, how serious they were, how intense they were. There it is. Yeah.
And what does he do?
Watch this. Watch this. That's Jose Delgado right there.
And he's
putting the electrodes in his brain.
Into the bull's brain.
Correct.
And he just stops. Oh my God. And then he lets it go again.
He's manipulating his emotions.
Oh my God. That's so terrifying.
Yeah. Imagine doing that.
That is so terrifying, dude.
This is Yale. He was at like a premier elite university. You can look up his career. It's incredible.
That's so terrifying, dude.
That's like the first suspect. I don't know if you guys, I mean, we talked about in the other episode where he's been found at the 9/11. I think he called in the Boston Marathon.
Zin, yeah.
Yeah, he's always everywhere. And then you said like you press a button, he shows up and he does whatever you want him to do, like yell it was me, shoot me.
It gets pretty dark. I mean, it's not that. There's a whole thing about Oswald, about how pliable and interesting, how he would just sit down and watch TV. They'd put him in front of a TV. He wouldn't move. And his brother said that something happened to his hair where it became kind of thin and very stringy. It was consistent with this electroshock therapy they were doing. And he was in hospitals in Minsk. And one of the key elements of the Garrison trial, if you remember, he arrested Clay Shaw in 1967.
Yes.
It's a key element of like the whole JFK thing, is like trying to get this guy busted. He didn't. But one of the things he was trying to do is create a nexus between Oswald Ferry, David Ferry, who's a very strange guy, Shaw, and the ex-FBI agent whose name is, I can't remember it.
That's fine.
He was trying to put them all together. And one of the things that put them together is people saw Ferry, Shaw, and Oswald at a state hospital. And they were trying to get Oswald a job at that state hospital. But nobody could figure out, why did they want him to go to this place in Clinton and get him a job? But then when you start researching this nexus and network of mind control, this is a hub in the overall two-lane MK Ultra experimentation that was taking place in the 50s and 60s.
Unbelievable, dude. And he was
yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
Well, Oswald, this is just how the overlap between the film and the real life. Like another of my papers is the Manchurian fiction to fact, because it's so close to each other. Raymond Shaw to Oswald. Raymond Shaw's handled by things. He's handled back to his mother, but Oswald is handled by. He's overseen. Do you know that Lee Harvey Oswald, when he was 13 at some boys' home in New York City, he had a full psychological background written about him?
No, what?
He had a full, like, 5-page psychological background written about him when he was, like, 13. And this guy who did it, his friends were all MK Ultra. So he's literally from a teen, like a prepubescent teen, somebody's watching him. And somebody's moving him. He's moved to Cap when he was 15, where David Ferry is. There's a famous picture of Ferry and Oswald at 15 together. Like, Ferry liked boys. That was his jam. That was his thing. He was gay, but he liked like twinks or teen boys. And so he had all these boys around him. Ferry's really interested. Garrison called Ferry one of the most important people who ever lived, because he was involved in so much stuff. The mob, gun running, Castro, and JFK. and Oswald. And that was what Garrison was trying to do, is get all these guys together, is to make those links that they denied, they all denied. So Oswald at 15 is a cap. He's taken out. He's like special because he goes to Atsugi Air Force Base, which is Atsugi is a suburb of Tokyo. So when the U.S. takes over Tokyo, they had a base there. And Atsugi is a known place where they're doing heavy duty MK Ultra LSD experimentation. The reason we know that is because when Olson, who's a famous guy who died in 1953 on an LSD experiment, he was either chucked out of a building, 10th floor building, or died.
Oh, yeah. That's a famous story, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, very famous.
Netflix.
Yeah, it's called Wormwood, a really good show. It's Errol Morris is in it. Hold on just a sec. I'm like on a route where the cops drive by all the time. Anyway, the
Great for business.
Yeah, the Errol Morris movie. It's really good documentary. There's also a really good book by Jack Albarelli about the whole Olson thing. Anyway, when Olson dies, a letter is sent directly from the head of the CIA and MK Ultra, Dulles, to Atsugi saying stop all experimentation. So that's how we know that they were doing the experimentation at Atsugi particularly. Oswald is there, I think, in 57 or 58. He goes into the hospital for like a 7-day stay for a venereal disease. Like, what the heck are you doing this for a venereal disease? He also was there with this guy, Kerry Thornley, who like knows Oswald before he did the assassination. Like, Kerry Thornley is around Oswald all the time in this really weird thing. And he ends up becoming a heavy duty occultist who then later on in life says, they put an implant in my brain. Like, it's really crazy. Like, it's hard to believe him because he's a Discordian. Like, he's like has fake names and like he's trying to create cultural, discord and things like that. But he literally is around Oswald. He actually writes a book about Oswald before November 22nd, 1963.
About a guy who takes out the president, right?
I think it's something about the lonesome soldier or something like that. I don't know what it is. But it's just another one of these people overseeing Oswald. Thornley, then Oswald defects. Somehow he gets money to go to Helsinki. He's supposed to go to some university in Switzerland. He goes to Minsk. We know from like certain releases that he's talking to the attaches of the CIA from Russia. So he still has intel connections there. He somehow gets back into the United States, and within a year, he is moved all the way to Dallas, Texas, or Irving, Texas, specifically, under the oversight of this woman named Ruth Paine. Ruth Paine is kind of an infamous figure. She's all over the Warren Commission. She's like has to make testimony. It ties into the current cases because Oswald was supposedly seen carrying a rifle on the day of the shooting, and in her garage was found like a rifle case. So it kind of ties Oswald directly to her. Ruth Paine has a she's from a blue blood Eastern family, but one of her best friends was this woman named Bancroft, and their stories. Bancroft wrote her autobiography, and her autobiography that she talks about her friendship with Ruth Paine, you can check it out online. It's called The Autobiography of a Spy. Like, so Ruth Paine's best friend is an autobiography of a spy. She's a spy during World War II. She speaks 3 languages. Who does she work for during World War II in Switzerland? Alan Dulles.
Oh my God.
He's literally Alan Dulles' secretary and lover. So
what?
So she's his lover. This is her autobiography. There's all kinds of stuff about her and Alan. She calls him the Shark. Like, that's his personality. They're involved in trying to kill Hitler, right? So the Valkyrie thing of June 1944, they try to kill Hitler. He's the kind of like intermediary between the ones who want to kill Hitler and the West. Dulles is. So then Dulles leaves, becomes the head of the CIA, starts MK Ultra, and then Bancroft. So literally, Bancroft is friends with Paine in 63. So literally, there's 2 very small degrees of separation between Dulles and MK Ultra and Ruth Paine.
That guy, dude, anytime you see a street named after somebody in Washington, D.C., just know they're a war criminal. Every time. Every time. I mean, but the craziest part of that whole thing is how they were and I've said this before, like, we know about the GATE program and all that stuff, right? They're collecting data on you right out the gate, dude. Right out the gate.
It's bad. Like there's digital data for all of us, and there's files now.
It's
Yeah, it's
so
bad.
easy, dude.
I heard that Palantir, even recently with this whole Charlie Kirk memorial, they had all the data on everybody's cell phone who was there. So they don't have to ask for attendance because all that data from the cell phone pinging, they're just like, okay, Joe's there, Bob's there, we know who's there. They probably know exactly all the people who were at that school in Utah on September 10th, which is really scary.
Well, that was the whole thing about Kamala Harris, and like they were doing data on everyone going there, and they noticed that it's the same people at every single arena. It was just a moving fucking carnival. But it's like, again, they just know your data, dude, and they're doing it very early, very, 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 very early.
And it's a selective release. Like that's the whole thing, is that they keep it on you, and then it's basically kind of like a blackmail, or they can manipulate events based on what they want to release or what they know or all those things. It's very powerful.
Well, I mean, that's not to get too deep into this, but that's why like adult film websites are free. They make it free. Then they see what you're looking at. They're doing like, let's say you're on these videos and you're watching like stepdaughter stuff, right? And then they see that you're into you have political aspirations, and then we get into what they were talking about with Lee Harvey Oswald, just people pushing you. Boop.
Yep, boop. Right into place. Boop. Payne was the one who got Oswald the job at the book depository. She was an essential member of like that whole team and squad.
It's so crazy, dude.
It's super crazy. And a lot of it's left out. This whole MK Ultra aspect is left out of the JFK kind of analysis. Lee Harvey Oswald was special. Ferry was really smart. He was like working on cancer research, but he was also into black magic, and he was also into hypnotic programming. And when he was found dead, was like whoever killed him or how he died was super fortunate because he was under the gun of Garrison. They found books on hypnotism all over his apartment in New Orleans. And also one author said that he was using it on Oswald. This guy who the name of the book is The Man Who Knew Too Much.
100%. I have to use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back. Sorry.
But yeah, the movie's really good, guys. I highly recommend The Manchurian Candidate, the original. And it has like little things like triggers over the phone. You could actually do that. I think Austin Picard even researched that, one of your guys with Sam. But it was like they found out in Artichoke that they could induce kind of a hypnotic thing by just getting in the phone if you got the right guy. And also like the suggestions are there. So you get somebody in that thing and then you'd say the suggestion, you bring them out and then they go do it. They found out that actually does work. Like they could actually get people to have this kind of like, response.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me about, I remember doing it, but they do an ear test in elementary and they make you press a button. And if you hear the ring, you press a button. If you don't, it's supposed to be an ear test. But now I think about it, it could be just a pinging. Like if you hear a certain vibration, it turns something on, because that's exactly what it was. It's just a certain frequency that they would send to you, and you could see if you could hear it or not. And then you'd press a button, and then you would pass or not, but you wouldn't even know. They were just like, all right, go ahead. You did good. You passed the ear test. And you're like, was that really a hearing test or was it something else?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because they offer those same hearing tests now on your iPhone if you get
wow, interesting.
If you get AirPods, you can take the hearing exam in the iPhone, those beeps. And it's just like what we did in elementary school as kids. William, have you seen what indication have you seen of like the evolution of that technology? Do you know much about?
It's a really great It's a great question. I think it's gotten more and more advanced. I think MK Ultra, like people think it's a research program. So I think they got all the research, and when they were done, they figured it out. So they didn't need to research it anymore. They figured out they could hypnotize people with the aid of drugs and sleep deprivation, sensory isolation, and the fracturing of the brain. They could figure out how to kind of do that, even to people who may not be suggestible. I think that's what's really scary. They can put them through kind of these things. They have to get them into a a medical facility, I think is what happens. But I think that there is voice to skull technology. There's there's all kinds of other dark persuasion, manipulation type stuff. But I think like there's a really scary guy. His name is Giordano. He's like, guys, we have like incredible powers. And one of the interesting things about Dulles, when he starts MK Ultra, he makes this statement. He actually had like a brain warfare speech a week before he started MK Ultra, and he said the purpose of MK Ultra and brain warfare is to find collective and individual behavioral modification techniques.
Oh, fascinating.
So in his mind, he's thinking on the collective scale. So maybe like in my default, I'm always thinking, okay, what are they going to do to this individual guy? But in his mind, he's thinking, how can I affect all of society?
See, I think that they taught Manson how to do that. That's how he got all those people to commit those crimes. I'm sure Manson either they did it to him and he figured out how to do it back to other people because he had these people manipulated.
That's a great comment. I mean, you're absolutely right. Have you ever seen Danny Trejo, that kind of famous Latino actor?
Yeah.
You've seen him talk about getting hypnotized by Manson?
No.
Okay, let me see if I can find that.
Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about our good friends at True Work. That's right. Fall weather changes fast. Hot, cold, wet, and windy. Sometimes it's all in one shift. True Work is performance workwear built like it matters. Because it does, okay? Founded by a trade professional who was tired of wet, heavy gear weighing him down, okay? True Work set out to make workwear that keeps pros comfortable, capable, and ready for whatever the day throws at them. Designed with advanced performance fabrics for lasting comfort, all-day mobility, and year-round job site protection. Every piece is tested on job sites with trade pros, so when the conditions change, you're still ready. This is incredible. They have over 50,000 five-star reviews from pros in every trade and every climate. All right, I love True Work. You know, I love it. I live in LA. It's hot one day, cold one day. I live it. You know, I'm chasing dogs around the dog park, okay? Dana asked me to fix stuff. I just asked her to ask me to fix up so I could wear my True Work. That's what I do. Just put on some gear. Unclog the toilet, get it done. Okay. So it's real simple. Here we go, dude. I use this and you should too. All right. Upgrade your day with workwear built like it matters. Get 15% off your first order at truework.com with code tinfoil. That's TRUEWERK.com. And we appreciate them sponsoring the show.
Manson hypnotized Trejo so bad that Trejo thought he was on heroin, and he explained that's how deep and how effective Manson could be. I mentioned this guy William Joseph Bryan earlier, the person who was I think Krenwickel was the one of the Manson family who turned and became a witness for the prosecution. Do you remember her? Or Kasabian, excuse me. Her name was Kasabian. Guess who her psychologist was?
Who?
William Joseph Bryan.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's everywhere. Like it's almost like he's like Louis Jolyon.
They're just hired guns.
Yeah, no, get this. This is a really interesting thing about Dulles is that they had one of the big events in World War II was that oh, that's not it. Let me get that. It's one of my cluttered desktop. One of the things about World War II is they had they were trying to one of the things Hess left in 1941 to kind of like create a detente, and Dulles got this guy Ewan Cameron to go interview Hess, and Ewan Cameron was the guy who went on to do the sleep room and all these MK Ultra things at McGill University. And it's really incredible because these are tied together. Like Dulles knows Ewan Cameron, like he knows some of these things. And I think that's the pattern all the way post-World War is during these events, the intel people sent the doctors, sent the psychologists. That's why they're always all over these things, is there's some psychologist or some handler always around. It's
like
crazy.
Jolly West didn't he do Timothy McVeigh as well?
He had one of his associates was there. There's no question about it. He was right there. So let me see if can you guys hear the
So you
sound on
met
this?
Charles Manson in
Yes.
prison, didn't you? What was that
In
story?
jail.
Can you tell us
In the
that?
county jail. In the county jail. But let me tell you, Charlie wasn't the guy that you saw on the TV specials. All right. He was God, he was like 5'4", 5'5", little scrawny. He was poor, kind of like a bum, really. He had a string for a belt. He tied his pants with a string because he couldn't afford a belt. And everybody else, we dressed, cool, ironed our pants, and so some of the prisoners were going to take advantage of him because they take advantage of anybody that's small. And we found out that he could hypnotize you, so we let him sleep in front of our cell to make sure that nobody would hurt him, and he got us loaded on weed, and 3 other guys in the cell. Everybody else had like 6 guys in their cell. We only had 3 because we were special. I had 2 killers with me, and then he got us loaded on weed, and I said, "Well, get us loaded on heroin." So the 3 of us tried to get loaded. He got 2 of us loaded on heroin. One guy just woke up, and afterwards I asked him, how come you couldn't do him? And he asked, "Did you ever get loaded on heroin?" He goes, "No." Well, your mind doesn't know how to work. Do you understand? Your mind doesn't know how to react. So if I tell you to do something while you're hypnotized and you haven't done it before, or you don't know how to do it,
dude, this is crazy.
And that's
what he's saying. He's not super clear. I mean, God forgive him. I think he's in his 70s or 80s.
Yeah, I mean, he's telling a prison story, from a long time ago.
No, but it makes total sense. I mean, what do you say?
No, but this is even crazier. Go on, William, then I'll say something.
Well, I was just trying to help people figure it out. He's saying that Oswald has hypnotized him into thinking they're high on weed.
You mean Charlie Manson?
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Charlie Manson. Thank you. Manson is hypnotizing him into thinking they're on weed and heroin. And the reason the one guy doesn't think he's on heroin is because he's never done heroin.
It's like the relapse dreams you talk about, Sam. You could never have those if you had never had an experience.
I totally agree with that. But to me, this is so much deeper, too. It's so much deeper because it means that he is like classically trained in hypnotism. Mm-hmm. It's not just some street shit. It's like this guy, like somebody sat him down and taught him the art of hypnotism.
There's no question. There's no question.
Right? I mean, this is totally different than being charismatic and getting, I can make these chicks get weird or whatever the power you may want it to be. But this is like systematic, like boom, boom, bang, sleep, do this, do robot, whatever, and make you do these crazy things, dude. That's so much deeper.
Well,
this is
like,
just one element. Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, this is like, if you read the Chaos book, it literally tells you that the CIA taught them how to do MK Ultra so they can ruin the hippies and make them make them kill people. And then you're like, oh, hippies are killing people. They literally said that he was literally sent out to MK Ultra, these fucking
for
hippies,
sure, dude,
and
for
make them look crazy. And the hippie movement, hippies are crazy. Don't go do drugs. Don't go do LSD. And it was all a move. He was literally sent to go do that. It's as much as you read that book.
Is this? Are we gonna watch any more of this? Can we?
Yeah, sure. I think you're right, XG, 100%. I don't know if you know this, but like Louis Jolyon West was very much involved in the Haight-Ashbury Clinic and also was studying hippies in a very intense scientific way.
It was a data center.
Yeah, they had this. They had a Victorian house they rented out, and they would bring hippies in and just like ask them questions, do this whole behavioral analysis and background stuff. Really crazy. And he had this is all known. He had like 10 like field assistants from Stanford, which is right kind of down the road from San Francisco. So
but if you get into it, William, they were trying to study the data of what psychedelics and amphetamines would do to people. And now you study like whatever that area is, like Silicon Valley, everyone's microdosing on Adderall. And they're on Adderall, which is the two things that they were studying way back in the day in Haight-Ashbury.
Exactly. They figured out at Haight-Ashbury that large doses of speed will make you violent. And then Charlie tells his crew on the night of the killing in Cielo Drive, take some speed. And then they distributed a lot of speed to a lot of biker gangs, and they were just savage, man. Really savage. Okay.
Kept having.
Yeah, so you're saying that he got you guys loaded up on heroin or weed, but there was no heroin or weed in the room, right? He was doing this purely through hypnosis.
People know when I get loaded on heroin, my eyes, I get red under my eyes, and it's like literally.
People know that.
The first thing, blah, you throw up, you dump, and I mean, me and Chato, it's like we both got blah. He dumped in the sink, I dumped in the toilet, and looked at, hey, what you doing? And oh, everybody was like shocked, and this Johnny Ronnie Cruz, he was like, well, what happened? He never got loaded, and boy, I was sorry when they transferred Charlie out.
You've basically got unlimited access to anything that you want because he can just keep on hypnotizing you back into it. What was he in for? Do you know why he was there?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Being shady, dog. What do you think?
Yeah, he was
Charles
nothing of any, because he was a petty thief. He wasn't. You know what? And not to speak ill of the dead, but Charlie couldn't have done that any place, any time, but right there.
Wow.
And my friend George Perry knew him in Frisco, knew him in Oakland. Okay, and he was a scrawny little hippie, and the girls that he got, Linda Kasabian, all of them were broken. All of them. They were up in Oakland and San Francisco being ripped off by the pimps and raped by the pimps, and so
they were suggestible.
He came around with a big bus and some acid and said, let me lead you. So it was kind of like they looked at him like, yeah, he's the Messiah,
They were already vulnerable. They were already primed for somebody like him to come in and save them.
They were so broken, and so
I would love to ask if he
somebody to take care of them.
If he had said,
in the same way that you could have done with a bit of extra heroin or weed in prison.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What's very interesting is he kind of says two things there, right? Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, William, he somewhat says he doesn't think Charlie could have done all that stuff. And then he kind of comes back around and is like, yeah, and he just took these broken chicks and gave them acid. So it was an interesting thing. I wish I wish he would have followed up going, hold on, you don't think he did it? Because there are all that stories about Tex is actually the guy that did it. And they blamed him. They blamed Charles because they wanted to blame hippies. And then the FBI was just sitting outside while it went down.
Yeah. They didn't have that great of a case against Charlie Manson because they took the blame for like controlling all those people supposedly. Yeah. Which probably is true. I mean, the levels of control. He was a clear in Scientology. So, like, he knew a lot about Scientology, which...
What?
Yeah. At least that's according to Helter Skelter in the book. He walked into a Scientology center and asked them, can you teach me anything? And they said, you know everything. And he walked back out.
What?
Yeah.
That's great.
That's a Bugliosi book. No, it's a true story. So he was keyed in. He's obviously street smart in his own weird way, but I mean the connections to all this. There's a rumor. There's a researcher who was kind of like a side researcher who said that Sirhan was at one of the parties on Cielo Drive. Like he shows up in weird places. He was also Sirhan, the so-called killer of. RFK was also hypnotized by none other than Manly P. Hall. And that's also in a book. If you know who Manly P. Hall is. Yeah.
We've had people on talking about Manly P. Hall.
Yeah, and he's like, there's this huge Manly P. Hall Center. I forgot what it's called, but it's actually very close to where one of the Manson killings happened, the La Bianca stuff. Manly P. Hall Center for like ancient wisdom or something is on that street. I forgot where it is. It's close to, what's the park that goes up in the hills with the
Griffith
Park? It's close to Griffith Park. Thanks.
Well, I mean, that kind of gets into Marilyn Manson too. It's like, here's this beautiful woman, one of the most beautiful people to ever live, and nobody adopts her out of foster care. Not one person adopts this beautiful little girl.
Who are you talking about?
Marilyn Monroe, excuse me, not Marilyn Manson, Marilyn Monroe. Sorry about that. And her involvement in a lot of this crazy stuff, because men get turned into assassins, women get turned into sexkins.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
There's a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it's called the Philosophical Research Society. It's on Los Feliz. That's where Manly P. Hall kind of was. But no, you're right. And there's like the search for Candy Jones. Like if I,
that's crazy too.
I thought that was a crazy book back. Like a lot of this stuff, I would have thought like you guys are off the deep end. But now I'm like, oh wow, they really did figure out these techniques. And these MK Ultra doctors are all over the place. They show up in almost every major
and there's no way they haven't refined these techniques in the decades that have followed. I mean, they must be, especially with technology, they must be so efficient at this now that they,
It's a great statement. There's a recent case that came up. It's out of this. I mentioned Ewan Cameron, who's friends with Dulles. He was at McGill. There's this thing called the sleep room. They had a lot of victims. They had a lot of litigation, but that litigation just got certified as a class action in July of 2025. And the document that got the certification is about 300 pages long, and it's all factual. And it's an amazing historical document. The court case is called Tanny, one of the victims. You can hear about their story, Tanney or Tanny versus Victoria State Hospital, McGill University, the AG of Canada, and the AG of the United States, Pam Biondi. So she's included as a defendant. But in that case, they talk about they figured out what was going on at the hospital, and there's that whole kind of winnowing process. They're learning these techniques. The human beings are unwitting guinea pigs in this process of breaking people down, psychically driving and breaking them back, bringing them back together. And they started figuring out drugs. What drugs can I use? What's the sensory deprivation? How can I get them in a completely pliable state? And a lot of these people's lives were totally ruined. Like these were basically totally unethical experimental victims who went into the hospital for like postpartum depression, alcoholism, things like that, and they came out changed. But that document reflects exactly what you're saying. You could see Ewan Cameron perfecting the technique. He's like, yes, now we do this. Now we do this. And like in 7 days, we can have this outcome. It's really incredible.
It's so nuts. And that, I always laugh when I hear people go, trust the science. I'm like, bro, some of the darkest shit ever done on humanity is from science.
No question.
I mean, let's not forget Ted Kaczynski. They fucked him up.
Oh, they fucked him up, dude.
People don't know the totality of what Kaczynski went through. They don't know. He was tortured for 3 years. They literally put the whole helmet on his head with the electrodes. His doctor's another one they think is an MK Ultra doctor who actually studied Hitler. He was actually involved in doing an assessment of Hitler called The Mind of Adolf Hitler. It's called the Langer Report, but his name was Harvey or Henry or something like that. And they really put Kaczynski through the ringer. And it's interesting because it overlaps with these cases at McGill. They were, for some reason, there's a woman, Elizabeth Nixon, might be a good guest. Her mom was one of the victims. And they were targeting these women to try to she thinks they were trying to turn them into Stepford wives, like very pliable wives, sex kitten wives, but they didn't tell them that. So that's what she thinks. But Kaczynski was like that, but for men, he had like a 185 IQ. He was like in his 20s teaching highest grade math to students, as a teacher, like a professor aide or something like that. But they grinded him down for 3 years. And they think he was in these things for like hours and hours and hours. They basically modified his behavior. There's no question about it.
It's so dark, dude.
So dark. He was one of many. That's the whole thing. And so when he's talking about, and that ties into Luigi Mangione, believe it or not.
There we go.
Because Mangione was interested in Kaczynski's work. And so you want to talk about two talented people who underwent personality change, like Holmes, or maybe even this Tyler Robinson, I don't know. But Mangione was like a winner. The guy was like a good-looking, head of his class, went to prep school. His mommy and daddy were rich. He paid for his prep school. He was working in AI in Silicon Valley. Like he had almost enviable life. And then all of a sudden, I got to go from Oahu and fly out to New York City and kill a CEO of a healthcare company. That I've never been a part of the healthcare company. Like, why is this guy? Like he chases him down at 7 a.m. in the morning. Like, how?
Well, somebody says it has to do with his back, and they didn't do all this. But the guy that shoots him, the guy who shoots him doesn't look like him when he turns around. Doesn't look like him. Not the same in the eyes. And the weirdest thing is that going back to these Manchurian candidates is they find him in a McDonald's just sitting there.
Just like Tyler Robinson, right? He's pictured at a Dairy Queen or something.
Dude, how crazy is this, dude? The Dairy Queen. There's a picture of the Man of Steel, the Superman. That comes out right before they start talking about how Charlie Kirk's bones were so dense they were like made of steel and they stopped the bullet. You're like, bro, that shit is all programming there, dude.
I think you're right. It's really strange. Like he just shot a mate. This is probably the biggest assassination of our time. Charlie Kirk is young, 31. They had to have known he was going to be an influence for decades. I mean, it's a decapitation strike, and then this guy, I just shot somebody. 6 hours later, I need some Dairy Queen or whatever. It just doesn't make any sense. Nothing about that story makes sense.
Who's hungry? Yeah. Who's hungry? I mean, I get nervous. Who's hungry after shooting anybody?
Yeah, but why does Oswald go to the movies?
Right. Good point.
Right. And then the Parkland shooting, you have that very attractive high school chick who is just like, dude, when the shot's fired, he's running right next to me. He didn't have anything to do with this. That story dies. And then he goes to McDonald's. He goes and shoots up everything, and then he goes to McDonald's. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, also in the Kirk shooting too, the way those text messages, like he's just kind of like, it's almost like hijinks the way he reveals it to his partner. He's like, hey, you might want to go look under the keyboard. You know, I left a little note for you. And then presumably, they went and looked, and they're like, "What? I'm gonna kill this guy." What? You can see it. I mean, it's just the worst. It's the most poorly scripted.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Dana wants me to be quiet, but I'm like, what ties this kid to the whole thing? What ties him there?
They decided to tie him there. And
the gun, his grandpa's gun, because you would use your grandpa's gun to go. Yeah,
but the gun that they found is not the gun that could shoot that bullet. And it's impossible for him to undo it, put it in his thing, jump. And then they're saying, dude, none of it makes sense. And then it's the AI video of him jumping off the roof. I mean, we're seeing AI introduced into this stuff, and that's an ominous sign.
Yeah, so he took apart the gun and then took his clothes off and put them back on. Like, what the heck is going on? Like, how is any of this believable?
And he rebuilt the gun to store it, and then wrapped it around a blanket.
And then just laid it down. It's just so dumb. People just... It's the old saying, it's easier to fool someone than to tell them they've been fooled or convince them they've been fooled. It's way easier.
That, or you know what I think it is also, just I think there's so much evidence that we're all just confused. Where none of it makes sense. The cops don't know where to go. They don't know you're just like, what the fuck do I hear? What do I listen to? It's just like kind of like the internet. They just bombard us with fucking information where you just don't even know where to start or what to believe.
Well, that's all done. That's nonlinear warfare.
Yeah,
I think so.
And they're trying to set a narrative of left versus right. They want civil war because then they can bring in martial law. That's the goal. They're just cranking it up every moment they can. Every single PowerPoint, bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Turn. White girl gets stabbed. Charlie Kirk, trans, bang. It's just like, how can we get them to all fight with each other? I don't think it's working. I think people are waking up to it, but I could be wrong. We got a lot of AstroTurf going on.
I have to say, Sam, I watched my whole family at that Kirk Memorial watch that with bated breath. I mean, it was they have no whiff. Like when I told them some of that stuff, like we were talking about, like Erica Kirk, some of that kind of deep stuff we talked about on Broken Sim.
Oh yeah.
Like they were like, what are you talking about? This is, I mean, so I don't think it's a mainstream thought at all that this
not at all. I mean, there's people that are just gonna buy it. So is there anything else with the Manchurian Candidate? Because I have something to ask you, but if you have more stuff, I'd love to hear it.
I could probably do 30 hours on the Manchurian Candidate and all its ties and stuff, but we can go into like maybe see one of these examples of a triggering effect and somebody engaging in kind of post-hypnotic suggestion. This is a video that I have. It shows all of kind of the Illuminati numbers that are in there, 11, 77, 75. But this is kind of one of the famous sequences is he's playing cards. This is the main character. This is Lawrence Harvey.
Oh,
Raymond
and that's
Shaw.
okay, go on.
And he's playing solitaire. The Queen of Diamonds is the thing, and you have to listen to the guy in the background because he uses the number 11. So they're implying this is a magical act. Number 11 is the number of magic. And then Sinatra walks in, and then he runs off and jumps in the lake. But listen to this.
When I get married to my old lady, I got no idea that this guy comes in the same package, that it's a package deal, and for 11 long years, I got this
So 11 long years.
I'm tied around my neck. And believe me, it's no bargain. You've got no idea what kind of a problem I got with this guy.
Sorry I'm late, kid. Got held up in traffic, you know.
Again. So I says to him, please do me a favor, will you? Why don't you go and take yourself a cab and go up to Central Park and go jump in the lake?
So
Raymond, I don't know why yours is the
Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah, this is Angela Lansbury. She's considered in this role one of the top 25 villains, according to one thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
She's a bad person?
Yeah, as Eleanor Iselden. And this film was considered, I think, in the 90s, one of the top 100 films in American history, really. It was up there with, like, Godfather and stuff like that. It's fallen out of favor, but at one point, this film was... But she listened to
New York City without an air conditioner. You know, sometimes I think you came to us for another century. Chu Chin Chow, or whatever your name is. The steaks are to be broiled for exactly 11 minutes, no more, no less, on each side in a preheated grill at 400 degrees.
Yes, ma'am. Steaks at 11 minutes each side. Nobody cooks their steaks.
And that's his. That's the guy in the background, right? Typing.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my God!
It's a great movie. You gotta watch it. It's so much in there, and there's also triggers in there. They explain how this doctor Yen Lo says you can trigger people to have suicide things at the very end. You can trigger them, and it's a foreshadowing of what happens at the very end of Manchurian Candidate, where Lawrence Harvey kills himself. And a lot of these shooters, strangely, kill themselves at the end. So you never know what their motivation is or what the story is. And it's actually kind of a script that's written into, like, Scientology has elements of that in there where you're supposed to. Scientology is super dangerous. It overlaps with a lot of the MK.
We had a situation with a friend recently on the show who we went into Scientology. He's like, I'm a Scientologist. I'm like, okay, we'll move on. And he didn't want to go down because I think there's U.S. naval connections to it. I think it's a giant U.S. naval blackmailing scheme. That's why there's so many closeted gays in it.
There's all kinds of stuff in there. You're basically owned once you go in there because you're supposed to divulge all your darkest secrets to get rid of these engrams or constructs.
God,
it goes into a yellow file and they hold on to it and you're blackmailed forever. So Tom Cruise and Travolta are totally blackmailed. And it gets where, I mean, you're right. I think Hubbard was naval intelligence. And actually, Fletcher Prouty said that, he was also very much involved in JFK. He said that Hubbard's World War II history is a legend. It's fake. And so what was he really doing in World War II?
So, that's so crazy.
He was also like full on occultist with Jack Parsons and all this other stuff.
That's so crazy.
But it takes that evil mind to do this mind control. And if you look at a lot of the occultists, even going up, you mentioned Marilyn Manson, like Marilyn Manson was friends with LaVey, and like he's talking about LaVey, and in LaVey's bookshelf, he has books on occultism and mind control. So these guys are all looking into hypnotism and mental manipulation, just like the other guy who's associated with LaVey, like Kino, who's literally a PSYOPs freaking information warfare officer. Like he knows that it's from PSYOP to mind war. So a lot of this stuff is very important. And actually, one of the interesting things about Condon, who wrote Manchurian Candidate, he wrote the intro to Operation Mind Control, and he likened people who didn't understand the mechanics of mind control as almost like circus clowns who had their arms and legs broken. He called them Grok the Clown. You have to read this intro. It's really interesting.
Where is it?
It's at the intro to the book Operation Mind Control by Bauer. He says the techniques are so significant to humanity that if you don't understand them, you're almost like a clown. Like that's a metaphor that he used. And I think to a certain extent, we've been so manipulated psyop after psyop and lied to and stuff like that. Like we really need to know these techniques. And we see some of them. I'm not saying all these assassins that have been here this long, assassins that I enumerated at the beginning, but some of them are really strange. They act very, Holmes in particular, and Chapman and Oswald, really. Like they all are very strange and suggestible.
It's just everything is fake, dude. Everything is fake. All these celebrities are fake. All these stories are fake. It's just like, how do you deal with it? Well, me, I just tune out. I just like to know what the game they're playing. I don't emotionally invest in it because it's just sorcery magic tricks, dude. Everything is magic tricks. We had Joey Jaime on, and we're talking about the manipulation of sports outcomes. He goes, dude, they just use magic. I never really thought about it like that. Like, how can they get that guy to block the punt? I mean, it's just energy manipulation, dude. It's just energy manipulation. It's that deep, dude. I really do believe it. That makes more sense to me than anything else, that someone would fake something or throw the game. Or it's like they just got mentally manipulated and energy manipulation to make them do these crazy ass things, dude. I mean, it's crazy to me, dude. It's just so.
These guys were on a quest for total power.
Yes,
they were on a quest for like complete manipulation, and they said it. Like, I mean, here's the thing. Like, maybe I'll leave you with this. This is from one of the guys. These guys at CIA all knew all this stuff, but this is from James Jesus Angleton. He said, "The better you lied, the more you betrayed, the more likely you'd be promoted. Outside of their duplicity, the only thing we had in common was a desire for absolute power. I did things that, looking back on my life, I regret, but I was part of it and loved being in it." Dulles, Helms, Weisner. Dulles was the head of MK Ultra. These men were the grand masters. That's an occult, Masonic term. If you were in a room with them, you were in a room full of people that you had to believe would deservedly end up in hell. I guess I will see them there soon.
So crazy, dude. So crazy. So I wanted to ask you real quick before we let you go. So Michael Tracy on the internet was in this there's pedo panic. There's pedo panic everywhere. And I tried to what's it called on the internet when you what's it called, guys, when you put somebody's handle in there? What's it called? At them. Yeah, I at them. And about his craziness, because he kept bringing up all these old cases, which we've had you on before, talking about, the daycare scandal and then the Memphis 3 and how they tried to create satanic panic. But for me, it's like, based on our conversation, those things really happened, right? And they were just spun in the news as like just crazy Christians going nuts.
Yeah, the Franklin scandal's real. There's all these different scandals that happened all over. There was like Presidio and things that happened on Oak Island. So these are all verifiable. So I think Tracy is one of those types that really doesn't want to come to the conclusion. He's more than happy to not look at the facts.
It's so crazy to me, dude.
I've seen that a lot in West. It's a lot of it's political in his class. He could never agree to saying that the West Memphis 3 were Satanists, because that would take him out of his whole kind of left wing circle. Because that it's like you have these kind of pieties that you all reflect at the same time, and you don't have to do. And if you don't do the research, you'll never change your mind. It would be too much at stake for him to actually look at the truth.
But there were tunnels, right? They were trying to act like there was actually tunnels under the school, right?
There was a guy who did it. His name was like Steiner or something like that, who wrote the thing. You can look it up online. He said there was a tunnel between the daycare and then an apartment building next door. So there's a lot of that was all covered up. A lot of that stuff was ridiculed, but
do you think they do that because they know that down the line the pedophilia issue will become huge, and or the satanic shit will become huge, so that they can go, oh, this is satanic panic again. You remember they kind of did that with Marxism and communism, the Red Scare and McCarthyism, and then look at sure shit, we have Marxists everywhere, and they were totally right. But it's like sets up this thing where it's like, oh, dude, it's just McCarthyism all over again. You're like, well, I think that guy was right, and then you get in the people behind him, Cone,
Roy Cohn.
Roy Cohn,
Roy Cohn, who pushed him to do all that stuff and kind of set him up to look like a retard.
Yeah, by the way, the main evil character there that's played by Angela Lansbury, she's based on Roy Cohn.
What?
Yeah. That's what Condon says in the intro to the book, Manchurian Candidate. So it's pretty interesting.
Really, dude?
Yes. Yeah. I didn't get to that part yet, but that's like the connection.
Okay, do you got anything on that? I know you might have to go, but can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, Cohen was just an operator. He was homosexual. He was in these parties. He was blackmailing people. One of his close friends was Greg Spence, who was a homosexual blackmailer, ended up dead in a hotel tied to kind of the Franklin scandal. But yeah, he's bad news. Roy Cohn is really bad news. And and he's tied to Permindex. I don't know if you know you've had a guy on Permindex, I think.
Yeah,
Roy
tell
Cohn
us about it again.
Permindex was kind of a competitor to the International Mart, which was run in, I think, either Dallas or New Orleans by Clay Shaw. And they were kind of like business centers where business people could come and meet, and back before the internet or anything like that, they could network. And so, but it was also backed by a lot of heavy duty kind of international intrigue types. And Joe Bonanno is like a head of one of the mafia families. So like there's all these connections with kind of underground deep state, whatever you want to call it. But Permindex gets pretty dark, and then it became a conduit for black financing, money laundering, things like that, almost like the Nugan Hand Bank or something like that. So some of the people who've studied JFK think that, I think it's either Permindex or the International, I think it's Permindex, was a conduit and a means to secretly fund the operation, if I remember correctly.
Of the assassination of JFK?
And among other things, because of the international elements of it too. Like you could move money around secretly.
It's crazy to me, dude, how deep it goes. And, if we go back to the Charlie Kirk thing, the layer, we always say this, in these high impact events that are actual real, that's being ran by these intelligence agencies, there's so many layers that the guy doesn't, the target will never get out. One of these layers will get them. And that's why I never really got into the Trump thing, because he gets out of there. A real set up assassination. If that doesn't get him, this gets him, this person gets him, that, it's like 9/11, like that, the layers to 9/11. They really make sure that if we're going to take this shot, JFK too, how many assassins were in the grassy knoll or in the plaza and all that stuff. You don't get out of there unless they want you, unless it's not meant to be. And that's why I think the Trump stuff, I have a lot of questions about it.
I do too. It's pretty interesting that he survived. But there were puts on Trump, if you remember, somebody put a bet on Truth Social out of Austin, which is a tell that he's going to get shot. Also, all the camera people there for all over, and they don't show the shooting. They're ready to show it, but it doesn't happen. So there's elements of connections and also pre-knowledge. But Charlie Kirk, there probably were layers, like you said. The shooter's obviously not. The cover story is the Lone Nut 30-06, but it's not a 30-06. 30-06, guys, is really powerful.
Yeah.
It's 1,400 pounds of pressure per square inch. It hits you hard. It's not a 22. The bullet is 2 inches long. It's crazy. They used it in World War II because you die. That's why they'd shoot you, because you wouldn't get back up. So something else going on. So there's probably people holding guns. There was a guy in the audience with guns. They have the distraction. I don't know if you know this, but in the JFK assassination, they had a epileptic about 45 minutes before the shooting to distract
Oh
and,
my
take
God.
the police. Have you ever seen that? Let me see if I can bring that up.
No, what?
It's in the JFK movie, actually. It's actually pretty good. Let me bring that up. But yeah, so they had that, and so Zinn and the guy with the airsoft rifle are kind of in that mind thing. They are distracting from the thing. So it's somebody put aside a serious amount of money to make that happen. There's no question about it.
So what really happened that day? Let's just for a moment speculate, shall we? We have the epileptic seizure around 12:15 p.m., distracting the police, making it easier for the shooters to move into their places. The epileptic later vanished, never checking into the hospital. The A-team gets on the 6th floor of the depository. Now, they were refurbishing the floors in the depository that week, which allowed unknown workmen in and out of the building.
9/11, same thing.
They moved quickly into position, just minutes before the shooting. The second spotter on the radio talking to the other two teams has the best overall view. The God spot. B team, one rifleman and one spotter with the headset and access
Had
to
to
the
have
building
diversity.
moves into the low floor of the Daltex building. The third team, the C team, moves in behind the picket fence above the grassy knoll where the shooter and the spotter are first seen by the late Lee Bowers in the watchtower of the rail yard. They have the best position of all. Kennedy is close and on a flat, low trajectory. Part of this team is a coordinator who's flashed security credentials at several people chasing them out of the parking lot area. Probably 2 to 3 more men are down in the crowd.
Yeah, signaling. There's
10
the
to 12
signals.
men. Three
Like
teams,
weird hand
three
gestures are
shooters.
being at the Kirk shooting.
Triangulation of fire, Clay Shaw and David Ferry discussed too much before. They've walked the plaza. They know every inch. They've calibrated
Umbrella
their
woman.
sights. They practice on moving targets. They're ready. Kennedy's motorcade makes a turn from Maine onto Houston. It's gonna be a turkey shoot. They don't shoot
So
coming up
crazy,
Houston, which is the
dude.
easiest shot for a single shooter in the
Yeah, see, that's the easiest shot. So he's coming right at Oswald, supposedly.
depository. They wait. They wait till he gets to the killing zone between 3 rifles. Kennedy makes a final turn from Houston on to Elm, slowing down to some 11 miles an hour. The
Strange
shooters
numerology there, 11 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Dealey Plaza tighten, taking their aim. Waiting for the radio to say, green, green, or aboard, aboard.
And this is like Kirk is like Kennedy. Where's the bullet coming from? Like it's not.
They don't want you to know,
they don't want
dude.
to know, yeah.
That's how, you know what that is an answer to? 800 cameras. If you have 800 cameras, you got to have 1 million guys look like they're guilty, so nobody knows if it's coming or going. It's crazy to me. That's a crazy ass video, dude. That's a crazy ass video, dude. It's just
Crazy days, man. Crazy days. These assassins, there's a lot of them. Like it's incredible. Even just the last year, like you do these searches, there's all like lone nut killers and strange things happening. Like this is. People have called it what? Strategy of tension, gladio. I call it collective psychic driving in the terminology
collective psychic driving. I like that.
Of Dulles himself. So that's Dulles' language.
Collective psychic driving. I'm with you, dude. It's very weird. And you know what's the weirdest part is how, there's 3 things you won't see on television. You might see it in movies, one of them, but you don't see violence against women. We don't see SA against women. And we don't see a lot of bank robbing on television because they know monkey see, monkey do. We'll have big movies that are over the top of bank robberies, but television never has bank robbery. They never show it on the news. They never do any of that shit. But they'll show guns constantly people shooting each other. Constantly, just programming people. That's why it's called programming. They're constantly programming you to fucking go to gun violence and all that shit. It's really fucking nuts, dude. William,
I stopped watching TV. I don't
I'm
watch
with
TV
you.
anymore.
I stopped too. I mean, everyone's worried about Jimmy Kimmel. The 4 days he was off air, people's minds melted. Fucking Mark Maron's calling for revolution. It's like, what are you doing, dude? We got mobilized. I'm like, dude, it's a weekend. You'll be fine. You'll be fucking fine, dude. It's just so fucking nuts, dude.
Really
All right,
crazy.
William, one more time. Tell them where they can find you.
William Ramsey Investigates podcast. My website's the same thing. I've got 5 books there. If you want signed copies, you can also get them on Amazon. And I have 5 documentaries on my Patreon. So they won't let me upload them to Amazon. I don't know why. So maybe I should try again.
Too close. Too close to the target, buddy.
Hey, I'm supposed to get my YouTube channel back again. They
Yeah,
won't
I'm
let me
happy
back
for
on.
that.
Who
I'm
knows?
hoping
Yeah,
they
so-
release the Krakens and let it go, dude, right?
Yeah,
Let it
really,
go.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope
William,
so.
you have great hair. It's luxurious. Your hair is amazing.
Thanks.
And we always love when you're on our show, and you're always welcome back anytime you want. And let's break it down. Come on. What did you guys think of the great William Ramsey? Always. I mean, I think that was his best appearance yet, and he always crushes it.
Oh, he's one of the best. One of the best.
I could listen to that guy talk all day.
He's got me worried. What if I'm a Manchurian candidate?
Yeah.
Are you really worried
You have
about
to be
that?
able to say it. You have to be able to say it before you can be it. I wonder if they would.
It would be Johnny. It would be Johnny. Honestly, if it was one of the 3 of us, it'd be Johnny.
What if I just said Dos Locos and you just start going nuts? Dos Locos. Dos Locos. It's pretty crazy, Johnny.
What is happening right now?
We think XG is a Manchurian candidate.
I could be. You don't never know.
I mean, all those weekend, drug use.
Well, let's
they
check
could've
it
been-
up. You're lost. Yep. You're retarded. Yep. Okay. You live a risky lifestyle. Yep.
The question is,
you go to these raves where they're
go to these
brainwashing
raves?
you with lights
Yeah.
and sound.
Oh,
yeah.
there's furries there too. Oh, I'm so fucked.
Yeah, dude. Watch yourself, buddy. Watch yourself, please, dude. I thought it was a great show. I mean, dude, I gotta watch that movie because that movie sounds nuts.
Yeah, I watched it a long time ago, but I don't remember much about it. It's a good film, though, by all accounts.
I just want to watch this. So, I mean, it's just this is the most interesting shit. Mind manipulation, and how crazy was it? What they said about Charles Manson? He almost said he didn't think he did it.
Shit, yeah.
Sam,
yes.
You think he could have done that to you? You think he could have?
I've been
Maybe
to
you think you
hypnotists.
were
They don't
tweaking?
hypnotize. No,
You
maybe
don't
when
think
when I was tweaking.
No,
definitely not. But I don't think I mean, it's possible. But I've gone to those hypnotist shows. I never go to sleep.
What would you think it is? Do you think it's you're not letting them? You think your brain's just on a
You know
whole
why?
different level?
You know why? Actually, because I stand on business. That's why.
Oh fuck yeah!
I think you have to be a dumb fuck to get hypnotized.
You have to be very simple.
Yeah.
And I don't. And that's nothing against anyone who's been hypnotized, but you have to be suggestible, right? Like, like when Trump gets shot and all those people show up with a Band-Aid on their ear. That's hypnotism.
Yeah, you're so right. Those are the people that, yeah.
Right? When the chick who fucking she starts taking like Tylenol when she's pregnant just to prove that's hypnotism. You're hypnotized.
So like right now, a person wearing a mask in their own car, they're easily
Yeah, they're
MK Ultra.
hypnotized.
Yes.
They're easily manipulated. You know, like when the government tells you that there's a monkeypox outbreak and all these gay dudes run to get the vaccine, that's hypnotism.
Add it to their Twitter profiles.
Yeah, I got my monkeypox vax. Who wants some? Right? It's
Yeah,
just
if you have your pronouns in your Twitter profile.
if you got your pronouns in your Twitter bio, you might be programmable. Guys, go to samtripoli.com. We'll break it down a little more. samtripoli.com. Yes, we're going to be my next big. I want to thank everybody who came out to Ventura Crush Fest. Even though I was sick, I crushed it. Tinfoil hat. We're going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Austin, New Orleans. Here we go. Then I'm going to be Vegas for the big show in Vegas, then Minneapolis, and then Morris Plains, New Jersey for New Year's. And yeah, so go check out samtripoli.com. So many new dates going. So much. Dude, I'm just putting up fire on my premium content. You will never get better premium content than what you get here. You get 3 episodes. Hopefully, I'll do another one with Kurt Metzger. We'll see if he's still down. But putting up 3 episodes whenever I can. Definitely for sure. And then, Johnny, tell them about Cash Daddies.
Yeah, it's been a good time to be over there.
Bang, 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 bang.
I'm sorry?
We got more members. Last time
nice. Right on. It seems to have really helped, not just giving all the pics away for free. It's really surprising what that can do. Yeah, look at that thumbnail.
Look at that thumbnail. Look at that.
Your thumbnail's fire, dude.
Got
Your
you
thumbnail.
doing-
Is that me redoing the amazing Test Bro read?
The amazing Test
I
Bros
could not
read.
stop laughing, dude.
We did. If you didn't listen to the last Cash Daddies, you missed the most professional ad read we've ever done. So go check that out. But you want to learn about how to invest in your retirement and save some money. Go check out.
Guys, new shirts are out too. Go check those out real quick. My shirts are fire. There we go, dude. I'm very excited. The brand new. Should I? Dana will lose her mind. There we go. A modern day prophet. There we go, dude. That's it.
I don't know how you don't get Dana to wear one of these.
She won't wear anything with she hates when my face is on a picture. She hates it. Join the Wood Army, dude. You know you're in. You know you would for America. Save the population. Would. And dude, if there's ever been a shirt that is more appropriate for what's going on right now, it is PSYOP season takes no days off. It's the greatest shirt ever. I don't know why. Everyone should buy thousands of them. All right. And then I just want you guys go up real quick. I just want to go up to real quick. Go up to Chaos Twins. That's really important for me. It's getting painted. It's getting colored. Excuse me. Getting painted. And yeah, man, I'm very excited. Danny makes an appearance. She comes in as a thick ass devil. No, she's a thick ass genie.
Oh.
No, but it's based on those devil cheerleaders.
Oh, yes.
Right, with the fat asses. Live Longer formula is where it's at, guys. Christian Yardanov is the man. Check it out. He's gonna help you get in shape. I need to start doing that now. I need when I'm not sick. And it's like we thank him for sponsoring the show. He's really great. Go back. And then, of course, buy gold and silver like a young Christian warrior. Get in it to win it. Buy gold and silver. We're very thankful. I'm gonna buy a big chunk. They're printing all this money. Your money's getting worth less and less. Your gold is going up more and more. Buy one coin. Buy some silver. Buy whatever you can. Get in on it, guys. Anything else?
Hit that like button, subscribe, and go to Extreme Marks the Spot. I got my new YouTube channel. Go check it out. Extreme Marks the Spot.
Johnny,
check out Broken Sam. There's one all the time dropping, just every other day. There's a new Broken Sam. Go check it out.
I'm just going to tell you something, dude. It is so elaborate how manipulative the elites are of us on almost every single level. And you just think about these poor people that were just born into wrong place, had nobody to take care of them, and they just get thrown into the meat grinder. It makes me so fucking sad.
Yeah.
It makes me so fucking sad.
Never have a chance, too. I mean, just no chance.
Yeah. I'm so sad. And I'm just over. I mean, it breaks my heart.
I want to ask you, because I don't know if you're going to talk about it in the episode. What did you think about the whole Jimmy Kimmel alligator tears?
Well, I mean, like, I'm going to be honest with you. What he said wasn't that crazy to me. I mean, calling him mega was just stupid. But the video he showed of Trump was hilarious. And it's just, dude, it was a giant psyop. He was gone for 4 fucking days.
Did he cry when he came back?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
No,
he did. He did a
no,
little
he
bit.
cried.
He did like, whoa.
He cried right when he said he wasn't trying to like diminish or something, someone's death or something like that, and he just kind of teared up. And
Like in an apologetic way. I'm sure. Yeah, I bet they told.
But he didn't come out and say, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he
did
said he
not say
danced
that.
around it. And you know what, dude? I mean, it's stupid. And Jimmy Kimmel celebrated when Tucker Carlson got fired. Jimmy Kimmel said you shouldn't be able to go to the hospital if you didn't get the vax. He's a fucking corporate dick sucker, dude. So I'd like, dude, if you don't like cancel culture, you got to defend the people you don't like. Don't just stand up for the people you like. Stand up for the people you don't like. That's the key. And it's just like, this was a giant psyop, dude. Just to get us to fight with each other. 4 days he was gone. And like, dude, they did the demographics of his numbers, 18 to 49, which is so sad because I'm so much old. I'm older than that, right? But the 18 to 49, that's the most important demographic. He's getting like 150,000 every night.
That's crazy.
Awful. That's
Just what?
awful.
It's just old people watching.
Yeah, it's like people like me, and like I don't spend money because I have to take care of everybody. So I don't spend my money like these loosey-goosey people. That's why they like young people. Not that they think they're better. They just spend their money stupid.
Yeah, because they got no kids and they love nostalgia and they love going to Disneyland. Like a bunch of my homies, like they literally just buying collectibles, like Pokemon cards. Were like, I mean, if you had kids, you wouldn't go buy a $300 Charizard.
Yeah, it's totally
nothing.
And more money is spent on young women than any other demographic. That's why everything's geared towards them. But everything that's geared towards women is hot dog shit. It's just hot dog. I mean, I'm willing to go John Mayer and then that who's the redheaded Scottish guy or Irish guy?
Ed Sheeran.
Those are the only two things that are geared towards women that I go, okay, that's kind of cool. Everything else is vapid dog shit. And I'm gonna get yelled at by women here. I'm sorry. Tell me, dude. And someone said Victoria's Secrets. I go, well, that's more geared towards men. Women getting stuff for men, and it's ran by a serial pedophile, child sex trafficker, right? I mean, it's crazy. Anything else, guys?
That's about it.
William Ramsey, you crushed. Enjoy these highlights.
Here's a clip from the latest Broken Sim.
Tell me now.
Into my tips line repeatedly.
Can you hear
it? Is a very clear image of Tyler Robinson.
Yes.
Allegedly taken, I'll say allegedly for safety here, but it's looking right, according to my timeline, allegedly taken at 6:38 p.m. at a nearby Dairy Queen. Here is that photo that we can show you. Just take a look at this photo. What is wrong with this picture? A lot is wrong with this picture. First and foremost, 6:38 p.m. You just shot someone. You have gone through great pains to hide your face, to change your outfit. But wait, you didn't fully change your outfit, did you? I'm looking at this photo and you're wearing jeans and you're wearing the maroon shirt. Now we have a 50-50 combo of the outfits. And now you're showing your eyes and you're not fearful at all that you might
That's funny. That doesn't even look like the guy in the security footage from the university.
be recognized. Also, wow, you must have quite the stomach. You don't have a record. Next thing you know, you shoot someone and you're like, I'm just going to go have a meal. You don't seem to be too shaken or too upset.
Where have we heard this
Problematic is
before,
his
Johnny?
location, by the way, we mapped this out.
Every time there's been a shoot. Like,
We heard this
yeah.
with Oswald. It's like, yeah, I just took out the president. Let me go catch a movie real quick.
Yeah.
And then
15
the
minutes
craziest
away.
one, Johnny, is
Go on.
the Parkland shooting, where you remember
we're
there was
live
that.
we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
I mean,
All right, Johnny.
that's like, no, I mean, that's the number one. Like that'll come shoot us in the middle of us trying to do a live stream. If just don't say that word. Say you can talk about that event, but the land of parks.
Can I say Parkland?
Sure.
Okay,
I wouldn't,
Parkland
but-
situation.
People, you said it 8 times now, so let's not say it again. Yeah.
Okay, the thing I just said 8 times. Okay, when there was that young girl, it's like I don't know what everybody's talking about. When we heard the boom boom bang, we were running. He was running right next to me. That's exactly what I said. And where'd he go? McDonald's.
Yeah. Do you want to resume this?
Yeah, resume it, Johnny.
From the campus at a time when we're told that he's idling by, babysitting the rifle. So you can see, we're showing you, it's about a 17-minute drive away from the campus. So there should be a lot of footage then of this Dodge Challenger driving back and forth. Okay. And like I said, the biggest thing that jumps at me is he looks kind of content there. So he's got to be a full-blown psychopath.
Dude, this is going to be a boom boom
of what
bang
the feds
again.
told us he was wearing in the morning and half of what the feds told us that he was wearing during the shooting. Okay, so why did he text in this exchange at all and say that he changed outfits? When you just said, I changed my t-shirt.
Oh, man.
If that's the reality, you just changed your t-shirt and that was enough? Was it just a t-shirt that he changed? The outfit, again, as I sensed yesterday, has always been problematic. I feel the outfit was the Fed mistake. It never made any sense to say that he wore an outfit on campus, light khaki shorts and a maroon shirt, and then decided to completely change hours later. Because why wouldn't you just change the t-shirt? That actually makes more sense. Every kid wears blue jeans. You don't have to like change blue jeans or change out of khaki shorts to avoid detection. That's not going to go, hey, we're stopping you because you're wearing blue jeans. That's not a thing. It would make much more sense if he had just changed his t-shirt.
Man.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be another Richard Jewell situation, dude. And that kid's going to make so much money.
That kid?
Yeah.
Oh, no. He will never, he will never live to get anything from this. If you think there's a
this narrative, Johnny, is dying so quickly, it would be absolutely catastrophist. Is that even the word?
No, it's not. You could say it would be a catastrophe. That is a word. Catastrophe. It would be catastrophic.
Catastrophist? That isn't a word?
Catastrophist?
This would be
Is that like a superhero?
Yeah, I
Catastrophe.
think so. I make words up as I go. I make culture, Johnny. Watch that word being everywhere, just like purposefully.
It sounds like a wrestling move. You got the Stone Cold Stunner, you got Rock Bottom, and you got the Catastrophist coming at you.
Yeah, there we go, dude. See, it's great.
No, I get it, but dude, there's no way that he will be dead before they'll let him off the hook for this thing.
We'll see, dude.
You really don't? Well, okay. Well, you seems like you have a feeling about it. Do you think he's going to go the way of Richard Jewell?
Right now, there's zero evidence that this kid did it. Zero. And the evidence put forward completely and utterly is junk.
Well, no, there's no evidence that you would accept, but the evidence they could produce in court were his text messages, which are stuck on him now, his father saying that he did it, and then all of his Discord stuff. That will all be accepted in court. That'll never get thrown out. I know we don't believe that, but that's damning in court.
It's getting really bad, buddy. It's getting really bad.
No, if he'll hang himself in prison, off himself, he likes to play the game hangman for YouTube censors.
Hey, dude, somebody out there Johnny, all I have to say to this discussion is I stand on business, okay? I stand on business.
Okay, you don't think you think he'll get off?
No, I'm not saying he's going to get off, but I mean, based on where everything is in this investigation, nothing tells me that this is the guy. Nothing. Not one thing.
When is that ever mattered?
It has mattered. I mean, like there are times where it doesn't matter, and we all know with Lee Harvey Oswald that he got taken out before he could even talk about it. Come on, Johnny.
And that's what they'll do with this guy. They'll either convince him to take the fall for it, or he will be gone.
Okay, so you don't think there's any chance he could get out? I mean, what happened with Richard Jewell?
Yeah, I mean that was completely such. I mean, it's the exception that proves the rule. The Richard Jewell thing. But
I'm just telling you, bud.
0% chance. Because he wasn't even. I mean, we saw him. He had a chance to say things to the judge, and he said nothing. Anyway,
it's crazy to me. Go, Johnny. It's crazy to me listening to these people. I'm truly stunned that Sam's on board with the CK situation. Unreal. What do you mean? What are you trying to say? What am I on board with? I'm literally pushing back against the narrative. What are you talking about? Unless you're going to get into the
CK
episode
thing?
we just had. CK. Think about not Lewis, who just passed.
I got you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you, Johnny.
I mean, he's in the headline. We can say that, I think.
Yeah, we can? I didn't know. Johnny, you got me scared. Right? I'm trying to stand on business and you won't let me.
Oh, it's just the AJ related. Anything AJ talked about, we kind of have to be careful with, I think, because
okay.
I don't
you mean the guy that the guy that the government censored, and now all of a sudden everyone's all upset? It's like so crazy for me to watch. It is so crazy for me to watch people losing their mind that we're all totally fine with censorship before, with cancel culture before. It's crazy.
And to be clear, I'm not buying any of that stuff. I said we don't think. I can see in the comments like people are. I'm not. I'm just saying there's justice. You don't get justice in our justice system. If he didn't do it, if he did do it, doesn't matter. They've chosen him to be the guy that goes down, and he will.
Johnny, we gotta make that quote go viral, so even when you're gone, people will say it. There's no justice in our justice system.
Johnny
The
Woodard.
injustice.
You know, I'm down with it, dude.
Did you see that the military is already pondering using CK for recruitment?
Why would you even put that out? It's so crazy to me.
This is from NBC News. Military leaders considering recruiting campaign centered on CK, Charlie Kirk. I think we can say that, right? It's in the news everywhere. Pentagon leaders are considering
topics.
This is one of the hot topics. Yeah. Pentagon leaders are considering a new recruiting campaign that would encourage young people to honor the legacy of Charlie Kirk by joining the military.
Joining the meat machine.
It's unbelievable. I mean, they just have no shame, these people. The idea would be to frame the recruiting campaign as a national call to service, officials said. Possible slogans that they've discussed these slogans. Are you ready? Charlie has awakened a generation of warriors, according to officials. Anthony Tata, who served, is this real? Are we supposed to believe that's that guy's name? Anthony Tata, who serves as Undersecretary of Defense for Personnel and Readiness, is leading the effort, according to officials. As part of the potential new campaign, Pentagon leaders are considering using chapters of Kirk's political organization, Turning Point, at schools across the United States as military recruitment centers. So they're going to go into Turning Point and turn it into a military recruitment wing of the propaganda arm.
Hey, man, do you love Jesus? Well, join the meat grinder machine as we kill people.
That could include inviting recruiters to be present at events or advertising for the military at Turning Point chapters. Someone explained President Trump has credited Kirk and Turning Point with helping him win the 2024 election. That's disgusting. They don't wait long, do they?
I mean, it's absolutely. What was Rob Emanuel saying? Never let a good, what's it called?
Tragedy or crisis. What was it? Something
yeah,
like that,
never
right?
let a good crisis go to waste. It's absolutely nuts. It's absolutely nuts. We're living in cuckoo times. We're living in cuckoo times.
You sent me a video that I haven't watched. I wanted to watch it live. It's Pauly Shore talking about some
let's watch this. It's very crazy. This is very nuts.
All
You
right.
need to get him on the show. Ask him about this.
Oh, really? All right. Yeah, we could. We had him on Punch Drunk back in the day. I remember that.
We love Pauly Shore.
I miss doing the old.
Okay,
Punch
come on,
Drunk
play
and-
it. You can't hear it.
This is what happened. Okay, we both got invited to an Illuminati party, right? Only one of us can go. So I walk in the party, and then all of a sudden, Marky Wahlberg from the Funky Bunch is there too. I said, "Motherfucker!" I thought only one of us can go. And then Leonardo DiCaprio comes out, and he says, "No, dude, you guys are both straight." So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden he starts looking at my hairline. And he starts cutting. He said, "You got to shave this part of your hair." I said, "Dude, I'm already fucking losing my hair." He says, "But I'll shave that part if you shave that part." And then all of a sudden he says, "Yo, you want to do some movies with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I want to do some movies with you. I'm a fucking big fan." I mean, you started several movies. Boogie Nights, The Fighter, Ted, Daddy's Home, Two Guns, Pain Game, all these motherfucking movies. Oh. And Robert De Niro comes up to me and he says, "Yo, Pauly, let me just put my finger in your asshole." What? And I said, "Whoa, bro, only if you give me $200 million. And he said, "I got you." So he said, he gave me $200 million. De Niro and Pacino and fucking Joe Pesci put the finger in my asshole. What? I get escorted to leave. And the rest is history. One dude made fucking 20 movies in a row, millions of dollars, and I got left by myself. One of those dudes is named Mark Wahlberg from AKA Motherfucking Funky Bunch, and the other one is named Motherfucking Pauly Shore, and that's my story. And after this, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm sure once this airs, all these people are going to come after me, and I'm going to wind up with Joe Rogan over at the Mothership in Texas.
So this isn't that long ago.
If you'd like to hear the rest of this episode, subscribe to Broken Simulation in your podcasting app or check us out at youtube.com/Sam Tripoli.
We go deep, homeboy. Aaron, open your mind. Drink from the fountain of knowledge. There's lizard people everywhere. That's some interdimensional shit. Wake up, Aaron.
This is only the beginning.
Dude, you just blew my mind.
Tinfoil hack, tinfoil hack, tinfoil.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel is giving away a Maserati Thursdays in October. Club Serrano members play all month long to earn entries for your chance to win an elegant and powerful Italian sports car. Join for free today and don't miss your chance to drive off in a new Maserati. It's all happening at Yamava Resort and Casino, the only AAA 5-diamond rated casino hotel in the country. You in? Details at yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
Hi, I'm Lexi from Blindster.com. We make custom blinds, shades, and shutters, and I'm proud to be part of the team that helps bring these window coverings to your home. We're a family-owned business, and every order is made just for your windows. No cutting corners, no middlemen. I've seen firsthand just how much care goes into each shade, and we're here to help every customer find the perfect fit, no matter their budget or style. If you're ready to upgrade your windows, we'd love to help. Visit Blindster.com today.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel is giving away a Maserati Thursdays in October. Club Serrano members play all month long to earn entries for your chance to win an elegant and powerful Italian sports car. Join for free today and don't miss your chance to drive off in a new Maserati. It's all happening at Yamava Resort and Casino, the only AAA 5-diamond rated casino hotel in the country. You in? Details at yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
Snoring, ruining your sleep or someone else's? Mute by Rhinomed is the simple, science-backed solution. Just insert, adjust, and breathe. Mute is a discreet nasal device proven to increase airflow and reduce snoring. No batteries, no noise, just better sleep. Find Mute at Amazon and Walgreens. Try it risk-free and sleep soundly tonight. Learn more at mutesnoring.com. That's mutesnoring.com.
Don't miss your chance to live the good life at Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel with the Good Fortune giveaway on October 31st. One winner, $500,000. Club Serrano members can play all October long for a chance to win big. Wealth may not solve all your problems, just most of them. Catch Good Fortune in theaters only October 17th. Your good fortune awaits only at Yamava Resort and Casino. You in? Details at yamava.com. Must be 21 to enter. Please gamble responsibly.
Looking for an exceptional driving experience? Find it behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz SUV. Experience the power, precision, and intelligence of an iconic Mercedes-Benz SUV at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer today.